Happy Wednesday, people. Welcome to the Kris the Critic Show. So I would like to welcome back all my critics, and for my new critics, thank you for joining us. My name is Kris. This is the lovely, the wonderful, the talented Gina B.
Hello.
How are you, Gina B?
I'm good. How are you this Wednesday? This hump day?
I can't complain. It was.
Why bother, right?
It's slightly cooler if you're in the Chicagoland area. Yesterday it was hot as fish grease out in this mofo.
Balls.
Since last week, what has happened?
In general?
Yes.
Well, we did have a little shooting out in Highland Park.
We had more shootings in Chicago.
We had more in Chicago.
Nope.
You know,
one gets national news, one doesn't.
One gets national news because people move to Highland Park to avoid the shit that goes on in the city, and they're like, well, why?
What a quinky dink.
Why are we
exactly
having this?
I went to, if you are from Chicagoland area, and if you're north of age 40, they had a house music picnic called the Chosen Few.
Yes.
It never ceases to amaze me, considering this is a relationship show. I should come prepared to interview people. I see a lot of naked folk in these streets. Some probably shouldn't be naked, but it's their right to be naked.
You're shaming. Don't shame.
I am.
Body shame. You know,
I am. I'm not seeing the right people naked. I'm a critic. I'm criticizing.
I'm a critic too.
Those
I wouldn't be here with you.
Thank you.
I sit somewhere on the spectrum between not shaming and feeling that some shit is just actually shameful.
Or in awe that they would wear that out in public.
I mean, I think that, you know, like the pendulum has swung too far on the shaming.
But
don't body shame. Sometimes.
But the worst body I saw with the worst outfit, she was holding hands.
With who?
Her boo. Maybe he bought it.
Somebody.
So for all those outfits, I will say, maybe there's somebody out there who.
There is a lid for every pot, and I get it, but like there's also there is. But anyway, not to go too deep into that.
Let's get into it. So, this show, and again, anyone who's just checking us out, we do relationship topics every week: sex, dating. Does he cheat? Should you take him back? Is she sleeping with the mailman?
Does he have enough money?
Does he have enough money?
Does she
Is
have
her booty big
money?
enough? Whatever. We do it all.
Is she a gold digger?
Is she a gold digger? This week, is it time to upgrade your relationship? So, show of hands, if you've ever looked at your significant other and thought, I'm better than this. Oh, I can do better than this.
No. Oh, yeah. Well, previous
hopefully my wife is
absolutely.
not. Hopefully Mrs. Critic is not watching
well, hopefully
this.
You're not like.
She's at home like this.
Go.
She's at home like this.
Wave your hands in the air. Yeah, right. She's like...
But, I mean, seriously, if you have hit a like button or something like that, or have you ever thought about that? Oh, you can't say
Not with
that.
my current relationship, but like.
Good answer.
In previous relationships, hell yeah.
All right, so.
Like, why am I doing this?
Exactly. Now, the Kris the Critic show exists. For me to talk garbage, but hopefully to impart some information that you can use. So, some things to consider before you pack up your suitcase or their suitcase. And if you're married, before you file for divorce, or if you're not, before you end the relationship, that's option B. We'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Option A, how can you upgrade the current relationship that you're in? So, how can you make the relationship you're in better? I mean, think about it. If you're with somebody, at some point in time, you really like them.
You did, at some point.
You may
That's
still...
why like all these dudes want to talk all this shit about their exes and their baby mamas. I'm like, you were loving her when her legs were wrapped around your neck. I'm just saying.
True. So what you not doing to get her to wrap them back? I'm just saying.
Well,
it happens.
you know, why... Or, you know, as many men have said... No matter how fine she is, there's somebody that's tired of fucking her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But here are some ways, and again, I got a few. You want to take a stab at any? You want to guess, or you just want to start shooting them off and see if you agree?
You know what? Jennifer started off with a really good one. Start with yourself. I mean, realistically, look internally.
Wait a minute. We must get Jennifer C. Smith on the show.
Okay.
that's definitely one of the ones I wrote down.
Yeah.
You definitely have to start with yourself. And Gina B, did she get a prize at some point?
She gets the prize.
Number 10 on my list
you time.
was make you time.
Absolutely.
And that's actually a good one to start with. Why? Because a lot of our behavior or the problems we have in relationships
is because of ourselves.
due to our own insecurities, whether we like it or not. If I'm constantly nagging you, where you been? Where you going? Who's that on your phone? Where you been? Where you been? What is that saying?
That's insecurity.
I'm an insecure
and also,
pup.
happiness is often a choice.
Say that again.
It's a choice.
Why do you say that?
Well, you can
I like it.
You can walk into a room and you can choose to look for all the bad shit.
True.
Or you can walk into the room and choose to look for all the good shit. It just really depends on your vantage point, your disposition. So if you want to look at your significant other, and once you start focusing on all the bad stuff, that's a slippery slope because someone will do something that will piss you off at any given time. Like, I hate the way he breathes. I mean, you can get all the way there. But if you choose...
It does get to be like that, where you start hating everything.
But if you choose to focus on all the things that you really enjoy about the person, then that's also a slippery slope, right? In a good way. That's how I look at it.
I think that's very true.
You know?
I have nothing to add to that.
I mean, you have to just, I mean, it's just all about how you show up and what you're looking for, because you can go down the road of everything's shitty.
We have our producer, who you guys can't see, but he's right there.
He's right there.
He's right down there. Mr. Gorman says,
he has fingers, see?
What if you are on the receiving end of the upgrade? Can you clarify that, sir?
Yeah, what would, how, yeah, I was
What if your partner upgraded and you were the one that got like
You're the one that got bounced?
yes.
Well, that's option B. We'll talk about.
Yeah, that's a whole different
That's
thing.
when they swap you out for model
They swap you
2.0.
out for a better model.
We'll get to that. Right now, you put a lot of time and effort into somebody to get somebody to make it happen. So I figured we start off there. And first, starting with yourself, Jennifer Smith. Smiley
Ding,
face
ding, ding.
for you. Here's a simple one. And some of this stuff, admittedly, seems obvious, but maybe even the critic at one point in time slipped up. Probably not, because
you're the critic.
Because I'm perfect. People should flirt. People stop flirting.
With one another?
I'm telling you.
Or other people?
I know guys and gals who've been married for a long, long time, or just dating for a long, long time. Things get a little mundane. They do.
They get dry.
They get dry. Tired of the same person. You sleep. You go to sleep. It ain't nothing. You got on your extra thermal underwear. I'm not even trying to come over. I'm all over on my side of the bed like that. It happens, right? But flirting, text messages, and nude photos. I'm not saying nude. Sexy photos.
Nude photos.
You can do that, though, if you're married or with somebody. You think
You
it's
can,
not just for the
yes.
footloose and fancy free
I'll
hoes.
tell you what, the best way to not
Naked
get busted
photos
in the
are
hack.
just not for hoes. Exactly. Send it to somebody you're in with.
No, my point is,
What?
if my phone gets hacked,
Right.
it's not a problem unless people like to look at videos of my cats or whatever. There are no nude photos there. I'm just saying, be careful if
So
you've got nude photos.
any of my male friends out here, if you see this phone anywhere, and God forbid something happens to me, you take this phone, you throw it
You blow that motherfucker
way in the Lake Michigan as far as you can. Take the cover off. Take the take the
off.
safety shield off, and you
Right,
throw this
just
mofo far into the
ruin
lake.
it. Yeah.
Seriously, I think people should flirt with people that they've dated
I think
or
flirting,
married to.
I think that's accurate.
It is
I
a
think
lost
it
art. And if I flirt with you, how does that make you feel?
makes you feel good.
And in turn, what does that get me?
That gets you laid.
See how that works?
See
how that work?
Not with us. But you
Hey,
see,
this is
Yes.
not role playing
Right.
like that. It was a
Exactly.
role play.
Yeah.
Next time I'll role play with Brian.
Role play. That would be fun.
Just joking. It's not that shit.
What does Jennifer C. Smith say? Can you blow that one up, Brian?
Oh, we can do that.
Get some hobbies and have a little life outside
She
the
said get some
relationship.
boobies.
I think it's hobbies.
Oh, is it misspelled?
I think it's that would be Bobby's, but it's hobbies.
It does.
I think
And again,
I think we know what it is.
I think she's reading my notes.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
It's a smart cookie,
new
that one.
experiences mean new conversations, new vantage points. I mean, that's really a good one.
But people, I can't say it enough. You got to
Or if you got to get some boobies, do that. You
Exactly. Boobies now.
Sometimes boobies will help.
Photos of your boobies will say, "Hey,
What's it for you in the photos?
I'm just saying.
I've never known a nude photo that didn't end up in the
my,
wrong hands.
My
That's all I'm saying.
My notes say text messages.
My hands are the wrong hands.
My notes say
Text messages. You can sex.
nude photos sounds juicier than me saying text messages and photos. The notes are very boring, people. I try to bring them to life.
Sexting. I mean, sexting is good. You know, there are moments though where you're
sexting can be worse than a photo.
Not really.
Some people say some nasty shit.
Yeah, but like that is gonna end up plastered all over.
I mean, you seeing a little.
No one's gonna get tagged on Facebook with a damn sext message.
You seeing a little flash, like, okay, there are my balls. And anyway,
once again, that's worse.
What do we got next? Here's one. I call it. We forget, as we've been dating a long time, how to have conflict as if you love the other person. You know what I'm saying?
Argue as if you're on the same team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And right now, so I call it speak softer, right? Because these days, men and women, it's not just one sex, folks get real loud. When they're upset and when they're passionate and they say things that they don't want to say. And again, as a relationship goes on, you have to keep putting in the work that you put in to get it there. I think people forget that.
They do.
And when you have a disagreement and you say some
those
fucked
words
up shit,
stay there.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, you cannot say.
Did you call my mama a hoe?
Right. You and your mom, you're both two raggedy, no good bitches.
Like, wait.
I don't know if there's coming back from that.
I was just kidding. No, you weren't.
I don't know if you can come back from that. But there's studies that say that people's relationships are better when they speak slower and in a lower pitch. And it, I guess, illustrates. That's when
I'm the most dangerous.
Really? That's when watch out, I might cut you.
Low, like when it's a.
Well, they didn't give what.
Let me tell you something.
The crazy. If you're trying to kill somebody, it's sort of crazy.
I'm not trying to kill anybody. I'm just saying, like that's the most. That's like.
I'm just saying.
That's when I'm the verbal assassin.
You actually said it best initially. I like that. I'm gonna write that in my notes. Argue as if. You said it.
You're on the same team.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's why I hired her.
I don't get paid much.
She doesn't get paid anything.
At all.
But
I get paid in this really. Should we talk about our liquor?
Oh, show my sponsor real quick. While I look at the next. I'll look at some comments, by the way.
Bam.
Our sponsor is Cavent, aged in French oak barrels by grapes. Aged
It smells really French.
You can find this locally, I believe, where we're in Southside. Kimbark Liquors, Annis Beverage. We're in the South Suburbs. Matson Liquors, Homewood Liquors. If you're southeast, Torrance Liquors in Calumet City.
This beautiful bottle.
Cavent XL. Tell them Kris the Critic sent you.
This beautiful bottle could be yours.
All right.
For a small fee.
So, the next one I got. Ladies, pay attention. Fellas, too. Grab his butt.
Egregiously.
Again, it's all about affection. It goes a long way. But
yes.
I think people get cautious in how they treat even the person they love. And I think it works against them. No?
It does. You know, it's kind of fun. So, I'll tell you a little fun fact.
You sleep with
About
strangers or a
me.
wild woman? No, I'm just playing.
No.
Just joking.
My fiance and I have this joke where we'll go up to each other in public and we'll grab each other's ass at the most inopportune
I love
moments,
that.
Right? We do this all the time.
I'm going to spill
Now,
my drink saying that.
here-
I'm like, I love that.
We just, I mean, like, but we kind of now do it to fuck with each other. So, a couple of years ago,
Go ahead, I got a bunch of
couple years ago, and by a couple I mean probably 6, we were at a club, and then I felt somebody grab my ass, and I was like, all right, Lee, stop playing. And then I realized that Lee's in front of me.
Wow.
So
Somebody
I
else
reached
wanted to play the
behind
game.
him. I reached behind myself, and the hand's kind of still there, and then I grab him around his throat, right?
Who was it?
Some rando.
Really?
And then he turned around, Lee did. He's like, what is going on? Like, why are you grabbing a man by? I was like, because he grabbed my ass, so I thought it was you. And
Wow.
someone almost didn't make it out of the club that night.
Dude wanted in on the game.
Yeah.
He's seen you at the club before. He's like, that girl likes
She likes an
people-
ass grab.
She likes an ass grab.
Yeah, he almost did not make it out.
But I
of
do
that
like
club.
that, though. That is a good thing.
Yeah.
Do you use your real names? Like, how far do you take this?
Oh no, we use our real name. It's our.
I didn't know
it's our
how-
thing.
I
We
didn't
do
know
it
how
all the
far
time.
you took it.
We've been doing this for years.
I didn't know if there was.
Yeah.
Brian, I didn't know if there was a safe word involved. I
There's
didn't know
not a
how
safe
wild
word.
it goes.
Yeah, there's a safe word, is no Rando's better grab my fucking. Anyway.
But fellas, you need to do that too. We can all, unfortunately, take people for granted. Doesn't mean we don't love them. But sometimes you got to show them. Hold hands in public, that sort of thing.
And that it pays dividends, right? When you express to your significant other that you're into them, that you're attracted to them, that just sort of that just makes the relationship better. The tides rise then. It's just a better situation.
Now, I would like to Amaretto Mitch, aka Rio, thank you for the comment. He says, need that new. Now,
Is he talking about new pussy?
exactly.
Okay.
So I would add again, the person you're with can be that. And
What did Chris Rock say? You gotta recycle the pussy.
it's
Didn't he say
safe.
that? Didn't he say that before he got divorced?
I heard a brother say, he told his wife this. This is a joke. Don't do this, fellas. You'll get smacked just like he did. Wife says, it's your birthday. I'm going to give you some. And it's going to be wild. You're going to love it. He says, what? You going to give me some pussy? He was like, I've had that already. He
Yeah.
said, if you want to treat me, give me some new pussy. Anyway, he said it didn't go far. He got smacked.
That wouldn't go well. That would ruin the birthday. What does Jamal say on the bottom there? Because it's always something fun. Uh-oh, Fight Club. Did you make Lee defend your honor? And tell me again how men get more out of relationships is we have to risk our lives for your honor.
Jamal, they don't care about us living or dying. They just want us to...
To be clear, I almost killed this man. So, I mean, Lee got in on the back end of that. I already had him around the
Sure,
throat.
make him look real weak out there in public fighting
It's
his
not about
battles.
that. I mean, he just didn't even know what was going on until he turned around and I was already about to kill him.
All right, so
It was awesome.
this one's simple, but
I'm
a
not
lot
above-
of people,
I'm not above fighting.
from what I hear, don't do it.
What's that?
We have little ones, so we plan date nights. Does that work? I like date nights.
Yeah.
And honestly, it gives me a chance to talk a little garbage. Like after this date, so and so's gonna have, it gets the blood pumping, and it goes both ways. I mean, but I hear
And
people.
we all know
who-
that blood pumping is really the
And
key.
I think it's hard to, like we said, things get sort of mundane.
Boring.
And if you let it go too far, they're thinking the same thing too. And I see guys make this mistake more often than not because women can be more accommodating than the male
Yeah,
species
we
and make
are.
us think things are okay when things are woefully wrong out of the sake of love. So if the guy is thinking, man, she doesn't do this anymore and I barely get to do this. There's a reason for that. That is an alarm that you should be doing something about.
Well, and Jennifer, once again, with the gem, she's like, sex can start before you make it to the bedroom. And in reality, I'm going to take it a step further.
Jennifer,
Sex-
you will have a spot on the show. I see what she's eyeing.
Sex should start before you make it to the bedroom. Especially, when you've been together for a while.
Nothing wrong with getting some head in the kitchen.
Foreplay.
I just said it was a layup. It
A
was
lot
right
of
there.
foreplay is.
It
I was
is.
going to say it's mental.
Yeah, I was thinking
opposed
the
to-
same thing.
Head. Okay. Anyway.
You can never go wrong with it.
I mean, doing things they like, not pissing them off, is a good way to start. I mean, it's
What?
it's a very foreplay is essential. Like you have to build up to it.
It is good,
And
and
you
I
just can't lick her neck twice and think that's it.
and I will say, fellas, not that we do things because we expect a return, but if the whole day goes well, and you wash a dish or two,
Yeah.
nigga, it's on.
Do the thing that I mean. There are several. Every relationship. There's
They all want to
something.
see. They all want to see you do some chores, dog.
There's
That's it.
something that you could do that will make your significant other's life easy. And you know what? You always say that men are simple creatures.
Right?
In some cases, we're simple creatures too.
Don't tell me.
Like you said, wash dishes, take the trash. I mean, do the things that we don't have to ask you to do proactively.
Some dudes are looking like,
You
man,
might get
I
laid."
tuned in. I took time out on my Wednesday for this. I got other ones,
Hell
fellas.
yeah.
I got other ones.
I mean, it's simple.
It is, but here's an even more simple.
What?
Now, this isn't necessarily foreplay.
What is it?
Sleep naked. I'm telling you.
All the time?
No, but nothing says I want you more than a boob or a schlong laying on you or something like that.
Schlong laying on you.
I like it.
I don't know about a schlong laying
But think
on
about
you.
it. If you think about the times in your life, maybe when you weren't in the longest term relationship, because I always say people put that best foot forward early on in a relationship or with somebody new.
Of course you do.
You were sleeping naked. Well,
Not all the time.
well, you were naked a lot. You know, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, you were just getting naked more frequently.
See what I'm saying?
I mean, but
Sleeping naked. I'm telling you.
sleeping naked if
Sleeping naked brings a little spice into everything.
if he has a body that you want to see naked.
Well, yeah, it's true. Well, you can say what the fellas say.
What's that?
What that mouth do? No, I'm just playing.
I don't know what you have on the literal brain today.
Wednesday. It's hot outside.
You know,
Feeling it.
I'm like, hello, what is happening with you right now?
Hey, Wendy Allen. Thanks for joining the show. We were just talking about how to upgrade a relationship. First, we're talking about how to make it spicier with the person you're with. Then we'll go into, should I even get rid of them? So we've talked about flirting more. Just give it a recap.
Yeah,
You jumped in.
go for it.
Flirting more. We talked about date night. Speak softer. We said grab his butt more often. Or grab her butt. Learn to disagree. How to fight nicely. And we were stopping at sleeping naked.
Yeah, sleeping naked. Okay,
No
so
one ever got unexcited.
yeah, no one. Okay, well, the other thing too is just commit to looking nice for your significant other.
Yeah, I like it.
You know,
You think people slack on that? You know,
hell yeah. Like, I'm just sitting around the house. You know, like, they don't. And everyone's guilty of it. I'll tell you what. Like, I have my favorite pair of sweatpants, and they're not sexy. They're not sexy. But I like them because they feel good. But who doesn't like them is my fiance.
do you wear one
He
of
does
those?
not enjoy them.
Those
What?
keep your hair together.
Do I wear a bonnet?
Yeah.
No. I can't go full bonnet. That's why my hair is never.
I don't know
like,
if I believe every
looking
woman
good.
I've ever dated had a bonnet.
I don't do bonnets.
Like everyone.
No bonnets.
Everyone.
You know, I'll tell you what. There is a bonnet in the house.
I was gonna say
And I'll
you're
tell
lying
you.
to me.
No.
You
I
lied.
have a bonnet.
You
My
lied.
fiance's
You got a bonnet.
apparently.
You got a bonnet.
He's not watching this one because he'd have a lot of comments based on what I
He's
said.
like,
earlier.
she got a bonnet.
But-
Here they are, right here.
No. He would tell you, a bonnet is not a consistent thing in my house. Like, and when I say that, it's like maybe like every depends on what I'm doing. If I've got a thing and my hair looks good,
Right.
then maybe, but it is not a, you know, I'm not going to sleep looking like Aunt Esther.
So Jennifer Smith says she
every
wears
night.
no bonnets ever.
Well, because the way you get around that is you get just a really nice silk pillowcase.
That's because she has the Indian people here. You sort of got that too.
Indian people.
Not today.
No, my hair's straight. But I mean, when my hair's straight, that's what I really needed. So
It's just-
I just have I have a satin pillowcase.
You got a bonnet.
And no, it's you don't need a bonnet if you have a satin pillowcase.
Okay.
You don't.
All right.
And they look nice.
Back to sleeping naked. Now, according to a British study, I don't have the
Naked
name.
except for the bonnet.
I don't have the name.
What?
Couples that sleep naked are happier. I'm just throwing that out there.
They don't have
Relationship
such
needs some
pinching
spicing
at them.
up. Sleep naked, and you do not have to be in some super physical shape. It's the idea of sleeping naked. All right.
Yeah, it's the fact that, hey, this is easy access. It's supposed to have to peel some shit off to
All
get
day.
there.
Anybody trying to do all that work?
You know?
Oh, here's some. Now, 2 phrases. Thank you, and I'm sorry.
I
Go
know
a
your thoughts
long
on
way.
this. I know what you're going to say.
You
I
know
know
what I
you
say.
well enough.
Women these days, they will say thank you.
Sorry.
They will never say I'm sorry. I don't know why. Maybe some of you out there can explain it to me. We'd like to hear it. Makes us feel good.
Because we're really
Makes us
wrong.
feel that we're not the only ones effing up all the time in a relationship.
What if you are?
Granted, a lot of times we are. I knew you were going to say that. But men would like to hear Hey, I'm sorry. Because we know we apologize when we mess up. All the time. Women don't say I'm sorry.
But the thing is, sometimes the apology is just not enough. Like, okay.
But why don't women say I'm sorry?
Apology, because
See?
I don't really know.
So you acknowledge that they don't.
But I can't tell you what all women do.
Do you say I'm sorry?
Sometimes.
When's the last time?
If I'm wrong.
08, 09? When?
Recently.
I don't believe it.
Recently. But, okay, so here's the thing. An apology without a change in behavior
I agree, it's bullshit.
is abusive. I will say it's abusive behavior.
But at least...
Because if you do whatever the hell you want, just because you say I'm sorry, and you're supposed to be absolved
But
of
even
that.
before you get there, even if you exhibit this change in behavior, you should apologize when you do something wrong. That tells the other person you're wrong. Michelle says women do say I'm sorry. When you, Michelle Egerton, are a unicorn. Mrs. Critic,
that's a unicorn.
she's going to be mad at me for saying it. Mrs. Critic hasn't apologized since 2013.
She's never wrong.
There, I said it. 2013.
Mrs. Critic is really wrong.
I feel so much special.
Okay, what's Stephen A. have to say, Brian? Let's blow it up.
Hog
Hog
time.
time.
Pull up on the pendulum.
Okay, I don't even know why I
Wow,
asked
Stephen
it,
A.
so
Is that what's
okay,
happening
bye.
over in the...
Bye, Steve.
His wife's a doctor.
I'm like, I'm not sure why we exploded that comment. I'm having a contact lens problem today, so I
Right.
can't see as well.
I'm gonna move on.
Stephen A., you normally have really good comments,
Yeah, he's having a cocktail.
and you're talking about hog tying now. What is Chantel talking about?
Um,
I say I'm sorry without being asked to. Okay, Chantel.
she
You're evolved.
is involved, but
Chantel
most
is
women don't. Matter of fact, they will. Patricia Aaron says, "I apologize, but not sorry." You know what? I'm okay with that if you can make
As long
me
as
believe
you're saying it.
That is very honest.
Is that? But you know what?
But most women, that's probably what happens most.
That's what men do.
No, we really
You
are
guys
sorry.
really-
We know.
I don't think you are.
The reason I noticed, I've talked to men. They're like, "Yeah, I fucked up." Man,
If you were sorry,
I
you would stop
apologize.
doing
She don't wanna
whatever
hear
it
that
was.
shit.
Because
I was like,
you
dude,
guys-
why'd you do it 32 times? Man, I'm just stupid.
This is
I'm
but
sorry,
this is the
man.
thing.
We
They
really
just-
are sorry.
They are trained to say they're sorry,
'Cause
even if
'cause it's
the
the right
behavior
thing to
doesn't
do.
change. The behavior needs to change. Otherwise, it does not mean anything.
But y'all won't even say I'm sorry. At least we doing half.
Okay, well, would you rather I say I'm sorry and the behavior doesn't change, or you just want to hear it? You just want to hear I'm sorry?
I want you to what you want. I want to hear you're sorry, and I want the behavior to change.
Right, but my point is, a lot of times
Why are you skipping past even acknowledging you're sorry?
it depends on what it is. Sometimes I'm not sorry.
That I've heard that before. Not saying where I've heard it.
Yeah.
Here's one, and this is muy importante.
You
Before
had to go
we
a different
move
language
on,
on that
well,
one.
we're almost at the part where you stop fixing it and you upgrade by getting a new dude or woman
Yeah.
2.0. But stop dwelling on the past. 1995, a man by the name of Al Hudson with a group called One Way.
Uh-huh.
Always seems to be something in the past. Won't let us laugh.
Look at Kris the Crooner.
Woo!
We gotta change the name of this show.
So,
It's not Kris the Critic anymore. It's
but
Kris the
how
Crooner.
apropos for this show? Folks, you got to leave it in the past. I don't care. A lot of people bring that baggage from the past relationship or even the relationship they're in. If he or she said, I'm sorry, I don't care what it was for, and you all accepted it and you talked about it and fleshed it out, you can't just keep bringing that shit up.
Okay. Here's the
Can't keep doing it.
caveat. Here's the caveat.
No.
There's a caveat.
No. Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
there is.
If they keep doing it.
The caveat is because let's start with this. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior.
Okay.
Statistically, that is accurate. Okay.
That is a Gina B-ism, but go ahead.
And no, it's not. It's like all over. So, if past behavior is present behavior is reminiscent of past behavior,
Right.
then it's fair game to bring up the past. Is all I'm saying. It's fair game. If the behavior looks the same,
that's not what I'm saying.
It's like that's what you did.
I'm saying if
4 years ago.
I'm saying if the behavior has changed,
if the
and
behavior
there's an
has
argument,
changed.
and you bring up something from 3 years ago.
What does Jamal
I'm just saying
with
it's
now.
not cool. Shout out to real quick. Shout out. I think I saw Will Smith joining us talking about upgrading the relationship. Will.
Past behavior is indicative of future performance. Hence, we were obligated to speak on it. No.
There we go.
Okay, you got
Shout
half
out
of
to
that, right?
Jamal Matuka. Can we leave that comment up for a second?
There's one half of that that is accurate.
I would like. Can we just pause that?
We can pause it.
Can you read that?
I will rebut it
For the audience and those who are not on this particular
we will read
platform.
it. I am happy to rebut it.
Go ahead.
He says, "Boo, past behavior is indicative of future performance."
Why are you reading so fast? I'll read his part. You reply.
Okay.
Shout out to Jamal Matuka. And I'm
Okay,
doing this
done
for
already.
people on other platforms. Boo, past behavior is indicative of future performance. Hence, we're obligated to speak on it every third Friday to stop it from reoccurring. Now, obviously he's saying, well, why we got to keep talking about it? And your reply is?
My reply is, if the symptoms of the past behavior keep cropping up in the present, then yes, that is fair game to discuss.
We're
because
saying
obviously it's a pattern as opposed to the past.
Prior to this, we said the behavior has to stop. We all agree on that.
Right, but if it doesn't,
But there are people who...
it doesn't always stop.
There are people who, let's say the guy is caught, it was infidelity. He didn't even sleep with anybody. He was on the phone, talked to an ex, called him
It's
for a
still-
problem, right?
whatever.
They had a
Okay.
big argument over it.
Emotional infidelity.
Sometimes that phone will ring. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, I'm talking with my girl. Who you talking to? Is that old girl about? And she just brings it up again. And then an argument starts from there.
You know why?
He didn't do anything wrong.
Okay, but you know why?
Because she's insecure.
No. That's
Yes.
not accurate.
Yes.
The reason why is because the tone, what you just demonstrated right there,
What,
the tone of your voice.
No, the tone of her voice. Who's
No,
on your
no.
phone?
If you were like, yeah.
Because it may have been a private phone
blah,
call.
blah, blah. Okay.
Just a private phone call does not mean cheating.
Okay, but
Hold
my
on, wait.
point
Let
is,
me do it again. Yeah, I'm with my girl right now. Okay, Mom. Let me call you back. See, you didn't hear the last part.
I said, okay. You said, okay, Mom, let me call you back.
See, I did that, Brian.
Tell your mom I said hi.
See, I did that, Brian. But she was ready to go there.
I wasn't ready to go. If you say
Yeah.
that, but what
But
I'm saying
I
is if you
shouldn't
talk
have
all
to.
no.
If
but-
we got
but here's
past
the
it,
problem.
if we got past it, it should be passed.
See what you've done in the past is you have kind of destroyed the foundation of trust, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, don't do what Gina B just did. If you
Just
want,
saying.
if you want to upgrade your relationship, don't be that
I'm
person.
just saying. If you, I'm trying to see comments and I can't. If you do something that is reminiscent of previous traumatic past behavior,
No, that reminded them of it,
Mental,
but
no.
he wasn't doing anything.
you shouldn't be prosecuted for life. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Here's
all
the
I'm
deal,
saying.
William.
Shout out to William, DJ Will Smith.
DJ Will Smith.
Jeffrey Man in the building. We see you.
Don't go slapping Chris Rock.
Stop.
My point is that you shouldn't be prosecuted for life. But here's what I will say. That right there, so you're getting us into the next phase of it. Maybe if you're prosecuted for life, or if someone feels that they should prosecute you for life for a past mistake, it might be time to upgrade.
Absolutely.
Because if you cannot get over whatever the person has done to you, then you should move on.
And I'm not saying you don't have a valid point. What I'm saying is, if we're a couple,
Mm-hmm.
once you've said, we are, apologies, you talked about it, here's why I was hurt, baby, I made you feel bad, I'm sorry, here's, it'll never happen. Once you all get past it, if you get past it, and it's past, don't bring it up for an if.
See, here's the thing, though, and this is an indication that someone should move on. I'm not saying that it's okay. Here's what I'm saying.
She's giving
We
ladies
have
bad
a
advice on
second.
your phone.
No, I'm not giving anyone advice.
This is horrible.
All I'm saying is that it might be time to move on. If it's something that you can't get past,
Well,
then it could be
it-
time to upgrade the relationship.
Then it should have come out.
Sometimes you think you can get past things,
if
and
you
then you figure out
Now,
that
I
you
do
can't.
agree with that, because
That's okay.
you will end
Nothing
up
wrong with that.
hating each other if you
You
constantly
will.
go back and forth. But we have about 10 12 minutes. Let's talk about. So we just covered how to upgrade the person you're with. Now there are times
There are times
when it's time to move on to woman, girlfriend, husband, wife 2.0.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about when you should just cut it. Cut it. When you should just cut it. When you should just bounce. The relationship's over. One obvious one, and I would hope that no one listening on the Kris the Critic show, man or woman, is going through this. Physical abuse.
Oh yeah.
If somebody,
That's unquestionable.
As a dad of 3 girls, if somebody touches you in a way, you leave, because I'll kill them after that. But there are people
Like
who
leave
are,
and give me an alibi.
there are people who are still in relationships. I can't put myself in an abused person's place, but don't be there for that, right? I'm amazed at the amount of women though who've gone through this.
Nope. Nobody should. That shouldn't even happen.
Now,
I think we all agree on that.
Now, conversely, we talk about physical abuse, that's inobvious. There's emotional and verbal abuse, which I see men go through it as well.
Yeah.
And it ain't cool, because I just want to grab some dudes by the neck like, man, slap out of it. The fuck? Grow some. Anyway, it's a bad.
Grow up here.
But I just think that's time. I think the relationship's over.
Yeah, I think so too.
I can't even fathom or come up with a reason why one would entertain staying in it, and just blind confusion. I can see maybe if somebody had, well, I don't want to leave the father of my kid, but if he's whooping your ass, then that's not helping either one of you. And eventually,
No, that doesn't help.
Eventually, he'll be whooping 2 people versus 1. You know what I'm saying? I would just get out of that.
Yeah, the ass whoopings will continue.
All right, so that you know.
Yeah, I think that should go without saying. And if it
Here's
doesn't,
one that is painful to think about. Relationships, should they be 50-50 people?
over time.
No. It should be 100-100.
Fair point.
So, if you see there's been little effort, or being little effort put into, even by you, if one person's putting little effort into a relationship, and you discuss it, and, you know, you get some half-ass reply, and it continues, you gotta love yourself more than relationship. So, that happens, unfortunately.
It does.
You gotta bounce. Before you look at my notes, you got any others you think about? You gotta go?
Like when you gotta go? If you're with a person that just has no general respect
He
for
lost
you,
his job, you out of there.
I'm done. No. Someone who has no respect for you. Someone who has no respect for
Wait a minute.
themselves.
Can we blow up DJ Will Smith? He had something directly. I agree. First off, I agree with Jamal Matuk. He said,
Are we
she can
back
never
here?
leave me. That's what I said.
Yes,
so,
she
Jen,
can.
nobody's perfect. Once it's talked about, then bury it. Exactly. Bury the convo. I'll give it. Exactly.
Okay, here's the deal. Let me just go back to this. Nobody is perfect, but my point is,
She wants
to
keep that
no,
on
it's not
you.
that. If you know what, see, here's what people forget, and people forget this across the board. It's not
All
just
of us forget.
relationships.
We don't forget.
Here's the thing we forget:
You don't forget.
that when you cross a boundary with someone, there's no guarantee that you're coming back from it. So when you cross a boundary,
So why
you have
don't
to
you
make
leave
sure
right
you
then?
understand. Because
We're talking
sometimes
about-
you think you can get over, and over time you realize you can't. So then once you realize you can't, you should move on.
If you
I feel
realize-
like this is a simple concept.
If you realize you couldn't, I agree. But if it's been discussed, and both of you have said this is in the past,
Yeah.
you can hold it back here. I get it.
Right.
You can hold it back here and just remember, but
Okay.
you can't keep pulling that out
No.
every third Friday like my man
Where it's
Monty just said.
unfair is to remain in a relationship where you continue to pull it out. If you can't get over it, that's the unfair part, right? So if you talk about it, you figure out, you know what? I thought I could get over this. I can't. We got to keep it moving. But to stay in a relationship and every 3 weeks you bring up the same thing that's in the past that you agree, then that's the violation, right?
But when someone does this, excuse me 1 second, babe. Yeah.
Listen, whatever
Yeah,
the
wait,
triggers
wait.
are, the triggers
Yeah,
are.
yeah, I'll call you back after. Yeah, Gina and I talk. And then you snap it. I'm like, 1 second, Mom. Let me call you back. If it's my mother
Okay.
and you
Jared.
snap, I'm just saying.
My
that's-
point is,
just saying.
if it is a situation that you cannot get over, then you need to move on. That's all I'm saying. And I mean,
I agree
no
with
one
that.
can but then if you're the person that's violated the boundary, you can't be upset about it
Okay.
because you caused it. No one has to get over your shit.
I got you.
Okay, we get back to the regular topic now.
And well, the next one is we can move right past it. You all said it that high. Nothing is changing, but you expect different results, right?
That's the definition of insanity.
Right. You keep forgiving her or him.
Yeah.
They've cheated a couple times. He was an ex-boyfriend. 6 times later, you're still there forgiving for whatever reason. That's an extreme example, but yeah, you gotta go. It ain't getting better.
No.
Now you're a doormat.
100%.
No one wants to be a doormat.
No one wants to do that. That's just bullshit. You don't have to be there.
And if you're a woman, smack him and say, I'm gonna smack
What
that.
does Jay Wyatt say? This is my women go from emotions to logic and men go from logic to... Shut up, Jay.
Is that Jay Wyatt?
That's my last thing I'm going to say.
Southside Little League Jay Wyatt?
Yes.
Jay was awesome. Wait, what did Jay say?
Jay
Shout
always
out,
wants
Jay.
to say, this is Jay's platform. I'm going
Women
to call
go
him
from
out.
emotions to logic and men. Very true. Very true. I like it.
I mean,
I like it.
it's...
Truth.
Well, yeah.
Truth.
Jay, we'll talk offline about this.
Well, I always say, man, we can be slow, but y'all delusional.
Jennifer, you're responsible for your triggers. You don't have to move on, but you do have to be responsible for your response. Yes, but here's the thing. If it's a response
Were
that...
you always this stubborn as a child?
Have you met me? Yes, Father. You
Wait, I'm
are
sorry.
responsible for your responses, but if you don't think you can manage your responses, then you need to be the one who moves on. That's my point.
All right.
If you can't deal with it, move on. But it's not fair to the other person to continue to bring up something that, whatever. Didn't think the relationship show was going to tell me to quit and give up. What's next? I should have a side piece.
Next week.
Look, that's on you.
Wait a minute. Next week, Jamal, we're talking about what?
We're talking about side pieces, are we?
Next week on Kris the
Did
Critic.
we avoid my
Next
topic?
week will be a hodgepodge. It'll be a happy hour.
What about my topic?
We'll talk about do all men cheat. We'll talk about side pieces. We'll talk about mistresses.
I had a good topic. That you're
Interracial
avoiding.
couples.
Are we?
Poor sex lives. We're jumping into it all next week.
We're
All
doing
in one
a whole
show.
witch's brew.
Don't miss next week. We'll have guests. It's going to be off the chain. Don't watch it with your mama or your kids.
As you usually shouldn't.
Jamal, we weren't, as I said, the first part of this show was how to upgrade who you're with.
Right. How to upgrade the
But
situation.
sometimes when we upgrade, it's because it can't be remedied.
And most relationships don't work. Real talk.
What?
Most of them don't.
That's true.
I mean, realistically, just
But
dating.
a lot of them can be.
Only 50% of marriages
But
work out.
And a lot of them end because people are just stubborn and stupid.
Most people are not for you.
I agree. We choose people for the wrong reasons. That's
We
all
do.
another
But
show.
most people are not. Like, when you date, think about all the people you've dated and how many people were really for
Here
you.
is
You want some?
sponsor me.
Sponsor
Sponsor
time.
me. Here's one that is a little more difficult to decipher, but it is a reason.
Is this your cup?
A serious reason. If you and your significant other, it's not just growing apart, but your values become different, right? You guys aren't the same person in your mid-20s that you might be in your early 40s. One of you may have evolved, and you're more into planning and saving, and life becomes more serious, and one of you are stuck back in the 20s. That is what I call a big rock. Little things can be changed, but if you fundamentally, one person has decided they want to have a faith-based marriage and one person has moved the opposite direction and they are just 1,000% atheist. I'm not saying it can't work, but very differing values and beliefs usually do not. But sometimes those won't be necessarily obvious.
Right.
So those,
It becomes obvious like on holidays.
yeah. And everybody's looking at you like,
Everyone's like, why don't you know this? Why
Right.
don't you,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, big. Neither of you feel the same anymore. And that happens too.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of. And if people really don't feel the same anymore, usually it's okay for people to grow. But if you've been nurturing that relationship, usually you grow together, right?
You have to work at growing together. I mean, relationships are, you have to check in with the other person. You have to make sure that you're on the same page.
Well, you
with
say you
things.
have to do what with?
You have to work at growing
You
together.
said check in. Did you say
Yeah,
that?
you're checking with each other.
That's golden, people. I think people don't check in.
Yeah.
I mean, at work we have yearly
You have
quarterly
the
reviews.
performance reviews. How are you performing? Did you meet expectations?
Gotta
Or
have a relationship.
Did you exceed
review.
expectations?
You sitting here thinking it's all going well. She loving me, and then you come home, and there's the mailman, killing it. Because you didn't check in. Think about it.
Gotta check in.
I hate putting that on people's mind.
You're so silly.
Somebody's gonna smack their significant other right after.
Like the mailman.
Wow, the mailman was here a little long. Baby, he was delivering an important big package.
If anyone had seen my mailman, you'd be like, that wouldn't be happening.
We have the craziest mailman ever.
Damn.
And I'm like, bet you guys, she's like, stop, he's creepy. Dude is freakishly creepy. But I think she could take him out.
The guy that likes me is the water guy.
Really?
The one who delivers the water? Yeah.
Fancy. The water deliverer. Excuse me. You just wanted to throw that out there, didn't you?
No, not exactly.
You see that, Brian? She just wanted to throw out there she gets her water delivered.
It's because of my fancy fiance.
You mentioned this before. We got a couple more minutes. Right after this, if you're on Facebook, Brian Foster and Chantel on In the Zone. Always an entertaining show. Don't watch last week's show.
Watch last week's.
I was a guest on it. Didn't go that well.
You know,
We moved past
these
it.
things happen.
I would like to finish the last
What
couple
you gonna
points.
do? Go ahead.
But if you are In the Zone on Facebook or Bree Foster,
for shit.
B-R-I. That was Brian Foster, everybody. B-R-I space F-O-S. Always an entertaining show. You mentioned this before, Gina B. Same problems over and over again. There's no magic wand when you should bounce. But it happens.
It happens.
Hey, Chantel.
They should absolutely watch last week's show.
Don't watch last week's show. It helped their ratings out. Okay, I'll tell you real quick. They sort of acted funny with the critic, asked me to be a guest. I felt disrespected. I'm not going to say a microphone was tossed. I'm not going to say I stormed out of here. I'm not going to say Brian had to stop the show and we switched seats. All right? Now you know. But y'all know me better.
He got a little
Y'all know me better than that.
heated.
Y'all know me better than that. Lastly, I think we got to close down. When the relationship brings more pain than joy, it's time to bounce. Time to
Yeah.
upgrade.
When you take some inventory over time and you realize that the majority of your time is spent upset, not laughing, not happy, not progressing. And there's also, let me just add one for the last 2 minutes of our time.
Sure.
It's, if your life has taken a nosedive since you got with that person.
Good point, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There are some people where you're just not a good combination. There's some people where together you're building, you're growing, you're doing great shit, right? You're knocking it out of the park. And then there's some people that you get with them and all of a sudden you've got a dark cloud over
They just
you.
suck the soul out of you.
Yeah, they're like, you're with a chick and she's a succubus, right?
That's true.
And you're with a
good
dude
point.
and he's like, he's bringing you down. You're not doing well professionally. Your friends aren't excited for you and your relationship. They hate him.
Don't go too far.
They hate
ahead, 'cause
her.
We don't want to be the cause of right after this show,
People breaking up.
somebody bounces.
But my point being is that if your life has taken a significant nosedive,
I'll be saying, Brian, I need to stay in the studio for a couple weeks, man. Till I get
Right,
my
we're
shit,
hiding
till I
out.
get my shit together.
But I mean, that's a big, because, you want to be with a person that propels you to do better. And if you
True.
find that when you're with a person who's just like, dragging you down like an anchor, then
Agreed.
that's an indication too.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
You want a person that makes you feel good about yourself.
Look at you.
I'm
But
just
look,
saying.
it's time for us to go. But again, thank you for joining us. Do me a favor, eventually, probably within a month. I'm gonna cut Kris the Critic off Facebook. We're gonna move to YouTube. So Kris, K-R-I-S, the Critic with C.
We may change the name.
Subscribe to me
We'll
on YouTube. We'll add Kris and Gina on the name. We'll actually not pay her more, but we'll do that. So
You can at least pay me double?
double. So
Okay.
at least subscribe to us on YouTube, because I'm gonna get rid of that soon. But next week again, we're going because I've done a gazillion of these shows. Gina B has done a gazillion with me now, and so next week it's gonna be like a rapid fire. We're gonna cover about 5 or 10 subjects,
And then the week after next will be a topic That's
I wanna
near
talk
and dear
about
to
it
my
before we
heart.
close out. Next week, do All Men Cheat. We'll talk about it. Bring a friend to that one. The side piece. They serve a role in society. If you got one, I'm going to show you how to deal with it too. I didn't say this was just always morally sound advice. Scumbags need advice.
With
too.
Roe versus Wade overturning, I hope all the side pieces get pregnant. I'm just saying.
And I hope they keep all the babies.
I hope they do too.
We need to add to the black population.
Yeah, sure, with that way.
Mistresses, we talk about them. We're gonna talk about interracial couples.
That's a whole lot.
We're gonna talk about it's like 4 or 5. How to improve sex life. Ladies, if you got a guy in your life, flag is only going up. I can't even say it.
Good.
Halfway.
Half-mast.
Half-mast. Well,
There are drugs for that.
but if they're not,
Use a splint.
maybe you have to move on. Anyway. But look, thank you all for joining us. We do appreciate you. Come back next week. Same bat time, same back channel. Subscribe to YouTube when you leave here and share the show. And I promise you next week, it's going to be off the motherfucking chain. Kris the Critic and Gina B, we out this. Peace.
Peace.
What's up?